My name is Kevin Fernandez, and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, we're going to actually try something that we tried a long time ago at actually the birth of the Top 10s list series. We're going to just talk about board gaming topics. So again, so keep in mind that I am a little rusty at this since I haven't done this since I first did this back in, I think it was 2020. Whew, it's almost 2020. I think Jordan's trying to say something, but you know, it's weird. So yeah, I'm going to be a little rusty on this because the last thing was my top 10 board game pet peeves. This one's going to be a little more positive than that one. This is going to be my top 10 tips for new gamers, and that's my description for that is anybody who wants to go beyond Monopoly and all the other mass market games and wants to really wants to start some of these hobby board games that I've been teaching on the channel for 5 years. So now that the intro's out of the way, let's count down. Okay, so my number 10 piece of advice, and I really felt like this was important no matter what, is find familiarity in a game. And what I mean by that is I feel like in my experience in teaching people who are new to this hobby, board games, if you, first of all, a lot of people in my family and Jordan's family want to learn board games. But the problem is that it makes them nervous when I pull out like Ticket to Ride or Settlers of Catan, or, you know, it can make some people a little nervous because they're not familiar with the theme or the gaming mechanics or something like that. So I kind of try to go with something that's easy to learn, easy to teach, but also now has like a familiar like IP to it. So like I'll go for Marvel Legendary, I'll go for maybe Disney's Happiest Day, Disney Villainous is a game I might go for. Horrified, it's got familiar IP. Or I might go for something that's got a familiar kind of gameplay, gaming mechanics, like a roll and move. A lot of people are very used to roll and moves. I know a lot of people in the gaming hobby don't really like those. But, you know, it will definitely make people want to take that like step forward. So, you know, we got like, you know, a lot of stuff that's based off of famous IPs, as well as stuff that has roll and moves in our collection here. And a lot of people that are new to the hobby really like them. We also have some stuff that people are familiar with, like Sushi Go or Go Nuts for Donuts. But definitely, number 10 piece of advice, find familiarity in a game. Okay, so number 9, I'm actually going to put it as a split. Originally it was going to be one thing, but now I'm splitting it into kind of two things. Don't fall for the hotness or the cute. And so I'm going to explain what each one of those are. So the hotness is described on a list in Board Game Geek, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below because that's going to have something to do with another piece in this list. You know, they have a section called the hotness. That's everything that's popular. The reason why you shouldn't fall for the hotness is because those are games that are popular amongst gamers. They're not popular amongst people. So like, they're talking about people like me, people like Mick and Starla from Our Family Plays Games, people like Rodney Smith from Watch It Played, as well as, you know, Monique and Naveen and all those guys from Watch It Played, Tom Vassell, you know, people who really do this as not just like as like a hobby, or people who do this as a career, who do these things as like a career. That is what the hotness is made out of. It is not made by people who will go to like Target and look at the different games and go, oh, that looks fun, and then just pull it off the shelf. No. Once in a while there will be a game, maybe like somebody talks about because it's like an anniversary of something. Like maybe it's like Ticket to Ride's anniversary, so everybody's playing their Ticket to Ride game, so that makes it on the hotness list right there. But most of the time it's just number one, it's mostly whatever is everybody's talking about at the time, so it might not even be a game that's out to the public yet. And number two, it's a game that gamers are talking about. So don't fall for that. Now, the second half of the list is don't fall for the cute. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of games where people love to do cutesy artwork for. Root is one of them, as well as a game called Wizard Kittens. There's a lot of games that have little cute characters in it, and everybody goes, oh, that's cute, which means it'll be pretty easy, a nice easy going game, it'll be fun for the kids, and then the next thing you know, you see like there's all these weird graphic pictures and everything, and you're like, wait, this isn't cutesy at all, this is like kind of pretty scary. Like the artwork for Root, it looks cute, but then it's like, there's like mice killing people and everything like that. The cats are like, there's like a mouse with like an angry mob and a pitchfork going, ah! And like, ugh. So sometimes and then there's like the Unstable Games, man. Their stuff is they have some pretty, they got some pretty creepy artwork, even though it's so adorable. Like Unstable is like got a ton of adorable stuff. But I swear, if you look at Here to Slay, or Happiest Little Dinosaur, or Unstable Unicorns, if you actually look at that game, man, there's some crazy graphic artwork in there, but it's still cutesy. So yeah, don't fall for the hotness or the cute, man. That's why that's number 9. Okay, so number 8 is pretty important. It's do your research. And what I mean by that is it's not just do your research on the game that you'd want, like the different type of game, the different mechanic, the different theme, everything like that. I mean, also look up where you can find this at an affordable price. There's a lot of tools available to us that can help us to determine that. In fact, there's even a price matching. So first of all, I would say go to Board Game Geek. If you haven't really done that, like I said, avoid the hotness, but go to Board Game Geek. You can do that to just browse different board games. You can search for it by like any way you want. Company, if there's a company that's grabbed your attention, if there's a specific type of game that's grabbed your attention, if like maybe a friend or family member stuff that, you can do all your research there. And then if you want to see how affordable it is, you can head on over to Board Game Atlas. I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well, so you can check that out. And it'll tell you where you can get it for a nice, affordable price. Shipping is not included in that, so you kind of want to maybe you might want to hop from place to place to check that out. And so that way you can make sure you're satisfied with your purchase. I know it might come as a shocker, but Target, Walmart, and Amazon are not always the best choices for you. Especially because if you go to Amazon, you could find a game that's like $15 on one website, but Amazon is selling it for the low price of $79.99. Not worth it. It's not worth it. Number 8, do the research. Okay, so number 7 is more pieces does not equal harder. There's a lot of games that have a lot of pieces, and I will admit, they are hard. But there's a lot of games that have a lot of pieces, and fret not, they just have a lot of pieces. Just because a board game has a lot of tokens and moving pieces, it doesn't necessarily mean it's super hard. For example, there are some games like Seven Wonders that has a lot of pieces, but then it's like, oh well, all you need to do is just grab this deck, and this deck with these numbered cards on it for this number of players, and then just put the rest in the box. So you just discarded like pretty much almost the entire game, depending on the number of players. And there's other game, and I'm trying to think of a game that. Oh yeah, so we have Elder Sign. It is a fairly easy game to understand once you get going. It's like you roll the dice, match the symbols to the thing. It's like Yahtzee. You keep matching stuff up, and you beat the card. It looks super complex because it's got a ton of components to it. But that doesn't mean that it's hard. In fact, I believe me and Jordan put it in our top 10 intro games or welcoming games or beginner games or whatever we're calling it now. I can't remember. I think they're calling it welcoming games, but I believe we called these games for beginners. I don't know what we called the list. But yeah, fret not. Just because a game has a lot of pieces doesn't mean that. And this kind of goes into the do your research. If you are uncertain about a game with a lot of pieces, you could go on to like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. There's all sorts of groups and stuff that you can ask questions about. And by the way, there is a little tip about that later on. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, number 7, more pieces does not equal it's hard. Okay, so number 6, this one is actually probably one of the easiest ones that we can do nowadays, and that is talk to others. There are YouTube channels like this one, there are places you can go on social media, there's all sorts of people you can get in touch to where you can talk about like, okay, what do you think about this game, this game, this game, this game? Will this, is this easy to learn? Will my kids be into this? Will they be, is it more likely that they'll be into it even when they're like teenagers and stuff like that? Now, of course, that second one, it's really hard to answer that question. That's that's something that only time can tell, in my opinion. But if you take the time to go to like a lot of the places that I said, like, one of the places if you're going to play like Villainous, I would recommend going to Lord of the Board, or we have a how to play video on Villainous, just letting you know. I'm just giving you some tips and pointers. Unfortunately, I'm not going to put like everything I mention as like a link, because if I did, I might as well just put the description as just links. But yeah, just make sure you have a conversation. There's people that you can talk to directly. You can email, you can, message. There's all sorts of ways you can contact people on different platforms and all sorts of stuff, so you can really know that this is the game for you, or this might be something that you might want to get into, because just like any other hobby, this can get pretty expensive. I mean, even if you're not like me and you want to have a whole couple walls full of board games, one or two, like I said, Villainous, for example, that's one we love. We love Villainous. But the thing is, there's Marvel Villainous now, there's Star Wars Villainous, there's Disney Villainous, the original, and then there's all these expansions for it. We just did an unboxing of the latest expansion. Expand Alone is what they're called. But that's the thing. You got to talk to people. See, is this something I want to invest my money and I want to invest my time in? So yeah, number 6, talk to others. Okay, number 5. Now this one is kind of for people who are like me and Jordan, who are gamers, and are trying to invite new people in. But this can also be translated to also people who are new to the hobby as well. And that is do a practice round. And basically what that means is you just go through one round of what that's like, going through each step of the game. So, you just go through what the rule book says each phase is or whatever. Because each game is always broken down into phases. So, like if you're playing Ticket to Ride, I would say first thing, just do one round of people drawing cards until like each person has laid down cards on the map. So once everybody's got trained cards on the map, then you can say, okay, now we can reset the board, we'll shuffle up everything, and we'll do it for real. If you don't really have enough time for that, I understand, but this will definitely help people kind of understand the rules a bit better. It'll also make them feel a little more confident when they move forward, because that way it's taking the pressure off. Now, a lot of the times I don't do practice rounds, but that's just me. Because I do feel like, they do listen. A lot of people in my experience do listen, but I do know there's different people for different people, different situations. You can't, one shoe does not fit all. The glove does not fit, so therefore you must acquit. And other things about that stuff. So yeah, just to make sure everybody's nice and comfortable, do a nice practice round. And that is my number 5 tip. Okay, so number 4 kind of goes into number 6 a bit, and that is find a gaming group that's understanding. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of gaming groups, and I'm not saying about getting together with a group of people and playing a game. I'm like talking about like a group chat, or you can do that. This translates in both. And I've been to a lot of groups where they want to quickly get games like what we're playing right now, you know, Haunted Mansion or Ticket to Ride or Settlers of Catan. They want to get that out of the way because to them, those games are boring. Those games are dumb. And they're a waste of time. They want to get Gloomhaven or whatever to the table as soon as possible. And they want to get you to that game. You know, they want to get you to a game where where it is actually a lot of components and it does equal its hard. Not every game is like that, I promise. But sometimes that's the case. And you're getting people to this point where they're not ready for it. And so you just need to, like, I love the group that me and Jordan are with because our Sam, our one of the guys in charge, and Brandon, the other guy in charge. Hey guys, if you're watching this, hey, how's it going? We had some new guys, we had some new people join our group just because they were kind of like surfing the web and just happened to come across this game group, wanted to try new games, and I think all night they played like Ticket to Ride, 5 Tribes, like really, really kind of like, you know, something where you can do a nice slow build up to it. They did not try to get them into like Battlestar Galactica or, you know, Unfathomable or, I mean, like I'm just, you know, or again, Gloomhaven. But thus far, nobody in our group I don't think has tried to play that game. But yeah, they haven't really tried to bring anything with that much, like, overwhelming. Something that wouldn't be too overwhelming. They were very understanding. They constantly were asking if like they need to repeat anything. It's very good. But I definitely know there's a lot of groups that just wants to throw people into the lion's den, throw people into the fire, and just say good luck. And that's not good. And the thing is, it will deter people away from this hobby. We don't want that. We don't want people to leave this hobby. We want to get more people into this hobby so that way I can just walk down the street. Guy would say, hey, you want to play a board game? And I say, yeah, I'd love to play a board game. And we pull out a nice game of Ticket to Ride and we enjoy our time. There we go. Simple as that. Oh, Oceans is also another one. I'm just keep on thinking of a lot of things for number 7, but I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm going behind myself. That's not even a phrase. But yeah, you know, yeah, definitely. Number 4, find a game group that is very understanding. Okay, so number 3 is something, it's something that I experienced myself, not recently, but I think like 2 or 3 years ago. So when I started doing this channel, I kind of wanted to teach more games. Because that's what I do on the channel. So I wanted to be very versatile in both teaching a game on and off the camera. Because, as you guys may know, this is a YouTube channel. If I screw up on the YouTube channel, I can just shoot it again. So therefore, I can do it again where I don't screw up. I don't get that opportunity. You don't get that opportunity with teaching a game in real life. Most of the time, what you teach is what people will take as fact because they don't know how to play the game. You know how to play the game, so they're going to take whatever you say as fact. So, if you don't feel like you quite understand the game, don't teach it. Just kind of keep reading the rules, check out some how to play videos or something like that, and like I said, just go to some groups, ask questions. I'm pretty sure there's somebody who's played that game. And if anybody says, oh, that game's dumb, don't play that game, you gotta play this game, and real gamers play this game, just ignore that. Just ignore that. That's a bunch of people just trying to get you, just trying to be intimidating. And it's just the internet being the internet. So don't pay attention to the internet being the internet. So yeah, you know, one of the things that I found is very helpful is nowadays there's a lot of games. So there's a lot of games that have been transferred digitally through like Board Game Arena or Steam or something like that. Now, if you don't want to invest a ton of money, because yeah, you do need to pay for each game you download on Steam. It's not free, unfortunately. But there are some companies that do have sales and stuff like that. But still, it's like I wouldn't want to invest that much money into that. I would recommend going to a channel called Board Game Arena, and I will leave a link to that in the description below. Board Game Arena is a free site where all you need to do is just have like a profile or something like that, and there's like a premium that you can pay for, but you don't need a premium in order to do that. There's certain games that you can't play unless there's somebody who is a premium member that is playing the game, but that's not gonna hurt you in any way, shape, or form. Usually premium people will, get on there like instantly. So yeah, so definitely you can, if this oh, I want to play Ticket to Ride, but and I want to teach my family, but I don't know how to play. I checked out Kevin's how to play video on Ticket to Ride. I still kind of don't understand it. I asked him a question in the comments below, and I bet he's trying to explain it the best he can, but it's still kind of confusing to me. I just need to figure this out. I don't know how to figure it out because I kind of like figuring it out when I get to play the game, but I can't play the game unless I have like at least another person, or an Amazon Echo. I'm not plugging that in. Just saying you can do that. I don't recommend it, but you can do it. There's like a way you can do it digitally. So, and so yeah. Number 3. Don't teach a game when you're not ready to teach it. Okay, so number 2. This one I kind of put down. So I would say don't pay too much attention to the box. I'm gonna minimize that. So like if I'm going and I'm buying a game and it says like, oh, this game, so like Rival Restaurants, oh, it's 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and 45 to 60 minutes, but for some reason I knocked it out in less time than that, or, my 9-year-old was able to understand the game. The player count, yeah, you probably should stick to that though. That's like the only honest thing I definitely could say that's on a box for board games is the player count. The only thing that's not honest, I guess, is the age and the amount of time that it takes to play it, because first of all, the age, it always varies from kid to kid. Like there can be a 10-year-old that won't get it, but there can be like an 8-year-old that would. So, don't take that with a grain of salt. And same thing with the time. Like I think like there are so many games that me and Jordan and my dad and sometimes we played it with a full player count, sometimes we played it with only the 3 of us, sometimes it was just me and Jordan. It says we're supposed to be playing that we've pulled out games that say, oh, this should take you an hour to play. We got it done in like 2 minutes, maybe 10 tops. 10 minutes tops. I mean, it really just depends on how familiar with the game you are, how quickly you adapt to the game. So yeah, don't be like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time to it. Although granted, I would be a little cautious when it says like it's 120 minutes to play. I would be a little cautious because sometimes that might be truthful. Sometimes, not all the time. Most of the time, you can knock it out within a couple minutes. But yeah, number 2, don't pay too much attention to the time. Okay, so number 1, I think this one is the most important thing. Don't rush. So many people try to rush because they want to get to the games that they see their friends play, or they want to rush through it because, they have something. Like, if you have a big, important thing tomorrow, you shouldn't even be playing this game in the first place. But, don't try to rush through it. If you're not having fun, don't be like, okay, come on, I'm not really having fun with this game. No. just take your time, like really just try to enjoy the game. Don't rush through the game. Don't don't try to push anybody to try to rush it, because then that's just going to make your friends kind of, you know, bitter towards you, and you know, then you're going to be like, well, why is nobody playing a game with me? Yeah, don't just, you know, games are fun when we get to take our time, when we get to actually think about our strategy, which is weird because, you know, I usually think of what I'm going to do in my next turn on my opponent's turn. So like when I'm playing traditionally I play 3-player games because it's me, my dad, and Jordan. So we'll play 3-player games, and by the time it's like my dad's turn, I already know what I'm going to do on my turn. But I'm not like going, come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm patient because, you know, I know that not everybody can like kind of figure it out in their head as quickly as me. And, you know, it's the same thing, same piece of advice to you guys. I know some of you will be like, oh, I figured out what I want to do on my turn, but I have 4 players ahead of me. Hurry up. Yeah, it's rude. It's not good, and it just makes people pretty sour towards it. Plus, just remember, there's a lot the rushing can either happen to the with the new person, or to the new person, or people. Just remember, you know, that there's a lot of people who are learning, and they wanna enjoy this game. A lot of people want to enjoy this game because it's a game that their family member or their friend or somebody put thought into. You know, my friend, my loved one, you know, a loved one of mine said, hey, my friend or family member will think this game is pretty fun for me. I'm gonna give it a try. Well, now they're giving it a try. But you're just like, okay, let's see. Oh, come on. I know what I want to do on my turn. Okay. Oh, and your turn's done. Okay, my turn. And then the next thing you know, there's like 3 people looking at you very angrily, and you're wondering, why are there 3 people looking at me very angrily? And then you realized, oh no, I just skipped 3 people's turns. And that's why number 1 is don't rush, take your time. Okay, well, there's my top 10 tips for anybody who wants to get into this hobby and who is new to this hobby. For those of you who are new to this hobby or was new to this hobby, because I know we have a lot of new people thanks to what happened in 2020 and even in 2021 and all that stuff, and even some stuff that's going on right now in 2022. If there's any tips that I didn't think of, or maybe you have for people, let them know in the comments below. And you know, it's, you know, the more tips we can give people, the better. It's because it means that we're going to get more people. We can help more people get into this hobby. This is a wonderful, wonderful hobby to be a part of, and I'm so proud and happy to be a part of this hobby for as long as I have been. You know, and I love that I have a lot of people, not only in my family who have like never played board games like this before, who are now starting to get into this stuff, but also in Jordan, my wife's family, and they're starting to get into this stuff too. In fact, we're trying to plan a game night with Jordan's cousins again. We're getting some new people who've never played games like this before and didn't even know these games existed until they met me. So yeah, that's a little bit of fact. So I just thought about this as maybe something helpful. I didn't put any visuals in this one. I know I usually do that with my top 10s list, but since this is still kind of in an experimental phase, I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Should I try to put some sort of a visual cartoon or something up in there so that way we can make it a little more understanding, or should I just keep it as is? I just want to hear your opinion. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for top 10s lists just like this. And if you enjoy the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. Unfortunately, the Patreon page doesn't unlock anything for top 10s lists, but you can get early access to how to play videos, just like the ones that we've been doing in the past 5 years that we've been doing this channel. Also, one of the things is it gives you some voting privileges as well as a name as a producer in the credits. And that is 3 different tiers. There's the Genie of the Ring, the Lamp, the Bottle, and the Lamp. I believe the Bottle and Lamp do name and credits, but the Ring just unlocks how to play video, early access to how to play videos. So feel free to check that out. Be on the lookout for our next top 10s list. But until then, thanks for the views.